Previously, we've looked at how to create a table, but what we haven't looked at is how to add data into a table. And that, of course, is very important because designing your database is one thing, but putting data into the database is something else. By going over to my vendor table and double-clicking on that access object, it pulls it up in datasheet view. And you can see it here where I have several vendors already created. So how do we go from an empty table to something that has information in it? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to come over here and open up my products table, which right now is empty. Notice that product ID has in parentheses the word new. This is because it's an auto number. We're not going to have to fill this out. We have our product name. And so I'm just going to pick a generic name. As a short text, I can put almost anything inside of it, up to 255 characters. So I can put in special symbols like the pound sign that you see here. I can have spaces. I can have other types of punctuation. I can have letters and numbers, uppercase, lowercase. Access is going to keep track of all that for me. In my product description, I can once again put any amount of text that I want. Notice on my unit price that this comes in already showing a dollar sign with the appropriate number of decimal places. That's because I chose currency and specifically US currency. I can simply type in something. I don't need to add the dollar sign. And when I move to my next column, or field if you prefer, notice that it once again puts in a dollar sign for me. Notice I do the exact same thing with the retail price, and when I move to a different field, it once again puts the dollar sign back for me. Now, for my items in stock, this is a number, and so it's expecting a numeric value. If I type in something different, notice that it's going to give me a little warning message. The value entered does not match the number data type, so it's going to prevent me from doing that. I have some options I can pick, and the one I'm going to choose is enter a new value, and I'm going to specify I have 8 in stock. Now, discontinued is a yes/no field, and so I'm going to leave it unchecked, showing that it's active. When you're filling out the form, you don't make the decision. You're following what the form provides. We have our created on date, and I have finally a vendor and category. So I'm going to choose vendor, Sam's widget, since it's a widget, and I'm going to choose a category. Notice that both of those are drop-down menus. The vendor comes from our vendors table, and it's a lookup, where the category was something that was provided for us. And we could type in our own value if we want to. Now, in this case, I just chose sporting. Now that I'm done, I need to save this information. When I do this, Access is going to add it to the table, just the same way I would have an insert statement if I was using a SQL command. There's 2 ways I can save this information. One is I can click on the pencil on my far left-hand side, and that's automatically going to save it for me. Or I can simply hit Tab and go to the new row, and now it puts in all that information. It puts in my ID, it saves all my information, and it works. Now it's time for me to put in something else. So I'm going to put in a large screen door. Now you might notice that, wait a second, large screen door doesn't fit. I sure wish it would fit. Well, I can come up here to my column and make it just a little bit bigger. And now it's set, and I can see it all. So I can resize my columns just by putting my mouse cursor in between the two and resizing it. I'm going to leave this description blank. Come here, my unit price. Notice that because description is not required, it is allowing me to be empty. You can see how I can continue to add these products one item at a time. It's very easy, and it individually does this. Now, while it has that little pencil icon, it's in editing mode, and that information is not saved. So if you were to get a power outage, for example, and you lose power, your computer crashes, something like that, you're going to lose that one row, but you only lose that one row. All the other rows are saved because they don't have that little editing icon. That's letting you know that you're adding that new data. So it's a real simple and easy way to work on this, and this gives you some examples of how to add data in. Now, this is not the only way to add data into our database. There's actually several others, and we'll look at those in the near future in other videos. Now, I'm going to go and close out my products table by clicking on the X where it says Close Products. And notice that it's going to ask me to save changes. You might go, well, is this the changes that I just entered all that data? Remember, that got saved when we moved either to a new row or we clicked on that little pencil icon. So what save changes is it asking about? Well, it's because we resized the column to make it bigger. That information is stored, so when we open it up again, it's going to remember it, and we'll be able to see all of our information again. We'll click Save, and just as an example, I'll double-click and open up Products again, and you can see my product name properly displays. That's what that is for. Next up, we'll look at how do we edit data that's already in our database.